Now, I'd like to place my kitchen here. I know that I want a lot of counter space along these walls, and I'd like a big dining room table right here that will double as a workspace as well. And I'd like to add a pantry that also has a washing machine and dryer, and then maybe a coat closet right here for the entryway. But let's start with the countertops. Let's measure 2 feet over from each of these walls, 2 feet and 2 feet for countertops. Now this one's going to end at this wall, so I'm going to go ahead and click, drag up and down, and click again. I'll create that line. This countertop is going to end at my pantry wall. I know I'd like my pantry to be 7 feet wide. I'm going to go ahead and add a wall, add another wall going down so that everything stays lined up with this wall. Now let's see, let's grab our rectangle tool. Go ahead and draw those in. Got our countertop, another there. We've got our walls here for our pantry. Alright, now let's delete the guides, edit, delete guides of that window. SketchUp makes designing your kitchen workspace really easy. I know that my refrigerator will be about 36 by 34 inches, so I'm going to go over here into some blank space. I've got my rectangle tool already activated, so I'm going to go ahead and click and release and type in 36, 34, enter. Alright, now let's get our select tool, spacebar. Select your refrigerator. Now I'm going to use an action called group. But first I'll show you why the group tool is so important when you're space planning with SketchUp. I'm going to show you what to do and what not to do. First, let's start with what not to do because it's very frustrating, and if you've ever tried to use SketchUp before, this is probably something you've run into and threw your arms up and just given up because it can be really frustrating. So say I want my refrigerator here. Click. And now I'm like, oh, I think I want it somewhere else actually. I'm going to click again, and it just creates this wonky mess. So there's just no going back. So you don't want to have to create and recreate your refrigerator. So let's go ahead and undo, Command Z. So everywhere you move another square, if you release it and try and pick it up again, it's going to attach to whatever you set it on top of. Now that can be really frustrating when you're trying to move furniture over rugs and things like that. Alright, so undo again. Okay, so the remedy for that is the group. So go ahead and hit your select again. You've got your refrigerator selected. You're going to go ahead and hit Command G. Now if you're on a PC, I believe it's Control G. Alright, so let's get our move tool, M for move. Now you can see if I want to put it in the same spot as before, now I'm like, oh, I want to move it. Move. It does not attach to everything else, which is lovely. Alright, so let's go ahead and leave that refrigerator right there. Next I want to draw my kitchen sink and my stovetop. First I'll draw my sink outside of the space, just like I did with the fridge. I like a 36-inch base, so I'm going to go ahead and draw my 2 by 3 rectangle. So R for rectangle, 2 foot by 3 foot. Okay, now I want to put my sink right about here so you can see that this rectangle is facing the wrong way. That's really easy. So go ahead and hit your select tool, spacebar, and then select that by clicking and releasing. Now let's group it, Command G, and activate your M tool, move. So now you can see it's grouped, and we have these red plus signs. If you click on one, bring it out, it allows you to spin it every which way. I'm going to go and spin it that way, and grab it again. Now, let's leave it out there. I know that I would like my sink to be about 4 feet from my refrigerator. And if I grab from this edge, I can line it up with my tape measure. Erase that line. Alright, now it doesn't look much like a sink, does it? So let's go ahead and work on that. I could work on it outside of that and then join them together, but I'd like to go ahead and work on this group. So I'm going to double click, and I can see with this dotted line that I'm working only on this. Everything else has grayed out. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'm going to get my offset tool, press F or click on your offset icon, click on the inside. You can see the rectangle. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do about 3 inches. Offset our rectangle by 3 inches. Okay, now I want to add some rounded edges here to make it more look like a sink. So let's do our A for our tool. Click right about here, right about here. Once it turns purple, if you double click, it's going to go ahead and get rid of that corner for you. So you don't have to delete it. And that'd be perfect. All right, looking a little more like a sink. Let's go ahead and add in a drain. C for circle, or you can press your circle icon up here. That's where your rectangle icon was. We do the drop down menu, and let's do 1.5 inches. Okay, now we've got our drain. Okay, we're still in this group, so let's go ahead and click somewhere out of it. Now you can see you can work on everything else. Now, the circle and the rounded edge rectangle is all part of this group now. So if we move it, it moves with it. To make my stove, I'll use the same tools. Go out here to the outside, grab my rectangle tool, R for rectangle, and draw a rectangle that's 36 by 28. Okay, now let's go ahead and add 4 circles. C for circle, 2, let's make it a little bigger, 4. You could either draw all 4 circles, or you could click on this and go Command C for copy, or Control C, and then Command V to paste it. And just go ahead and place your 4 circles however you'd like. Again, if you want to draw it differently, if you like your stoves differently, go ahead and draw them differently. That's totally fine. I'd like to see the results that you come out with. So let's go ahead and select spacebar, select the whole thing by dragging it. Okay, and then Command G for group. Now I've got all that. Now if you hit your move tool, you can see the whole thing is a group. Let's spin it around. Now I know I want it 4 feet from this wall, so from the edge of the counter. So let's go ahead and measure in 4 feet with our tape measure. Go back here and grab it in the corner. Actually, let's grab it from this corner. That would be easier. Place it right there. Now your kitchen's starting to come into place.